I'm here today with Charlie Comer, who's a graduate of Spartanburg Methodist College, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, please, the pleasure's mine. It's great to be back here. I actually miss Flight Campus.
Okay, so my first question for you regarding what it's like on the spectrum is, what are some habits that are associated with people on the autism spectrum?
That's an interesting question, because I'm technically on the higher end of the spectrum. Yeah, it varies. It's a difficult habit. But even for a higher functioning, I guess one of the habits includes just a little bit of an obsession over something, and people just don't realize that they're not interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. And it's also like, because I used to have a habit with fidgeting when I was nervous.
Well, yes, there is that as well.
And that's actually a good answer. So my second question is, what was it like being an autistic student at Spartanburg Methodist College for the first time?
Honestly, nothing different from a regular experience, from what I could tell.
So there was no difficulties with the learning environment?
Not really.
I wonder if there's other students like that had similar experiences to you.
Oh, there's definitely some, probably because I think part of the reason I say this because most of my classes were relatively quiet. Unlike high school. Oh dear God.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit more quiet than what you would expect in a college classroom. Like, you would expect it to be a bit loud so that people would be able to hear.
You see these movies where it's all partying all the time, and ruckus. When you get there, it's like, I've seen libraries with more noise than this.
Okay. Well, that's actually a good example of what you might expect. I mean, that's what a lot of students in college would expect.
That's pretty much what anyone in general expects.
Okay. So my third question is, what are some things that people on the spectrum would do in the workplace?
Interesting question. Well, part of it depends on the spectrum, on which end of the spectrum they're on. And of course, it also depends on the workplace.
And it depends on how sensitive they are to certain things?
Yes.
Because if you're sensitive to a lot of noise, you want to be somewhere quiet.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you just wanted to make sure that everything's like at a steady place or a steady pace, you just go somewhere where it's not going to be too loud or too quiet.
Right, so definitely not as a Cracker Barrel dishwasher.
Definitely not. Okay. And my fourth question is, what does it take to be successful in the workforce when you're on the spectrum?
Whew. Define successful.
Like, is there a specific method you might have?
No, not really. Just, I guess if anything, just take it one day at a time.
I mean, that's what you would expect for anybody in the workforce.
Exactly.
Just take things one step at a time. And my final question is, how do you think Spartanburg Methodist College can help students on the spectrum in the future?
Interesting. Honestly, they're doing a great job as it is.
Do you think they might add a few more accommodations? Like if somebody's more agitated when it comes to timing?
Well, in circumstances like that, then yes, absolutely. But again, from my own experience, it was pretty fine.
And it's pretty good that you had a similar experience to some students at SMC. And I think it's a pretty good opportunity to get these sort of answers. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.